watching TFI, Indian Social Media's OG.
The situation in Maldives is worrying for India. Political groups in Maldives are increasingly speaking against India. This is a big concern for security in Delhi. They think this change is because people who went to religious schools in Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Afghanistan are now part of the government in Malé, the capital of Maldives. For a long time, experts from Maldives who live in other countries have talked about this issue. They noticed that extreme religious beliefs were growing fast in Maldives. This is now becoming more visible in country's politics. In 2022, the Maldives had a population of 5.15 lakh. Out of this, 1.32 lakh were foreigners, mainly from South Asian countries working in various jobs. The country is made up of 189 islands, 18 atolls, and 4 cities. The Maldives was mostly Buddhist for many years but changed to Islam in the 12th century. In the last 20 years, people from Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have come to Malé, the capital, in large numbers. Most of these people were part of groups with strong extremist Islamist views. Many of these groups were connected to the terrorist organizations such as Khidmat-e-Khalq, which is linked to Lashkar-e-Taiba. This group, labeled a terror group by the US in 2006, used its presence in Malé to spread their version of radical Islam. These groups took young people from Maldives to Pakistan and Saudi Arabia for various religious trainings. Many Maldivian youths went to religious schools in Pakistan and even visited training camps near the Afghanistan Pakistan border. The 2004 tsunami was a turning point. It caused a lot of damage in Maldives. After the tsunami, groups pretending to be charities that actually linked to terrorist organizations came to Maldives. They provided help and money to those affected. These groups also influenced the local population with their ideas. They sent some youth to religious schools in Pakistan while others were recruited for more dangerous activities. Lamu Atoll in the southern part of Maldives was one of the worst hit areas. The IKK, which is the part of Jamaat ud Dawa and Lashkar-e-Taiba, played a big role in these activities. These groups have carried out attacks in India, even Pakistan, and some other places. Their influence in Maldives has led to a change in the religious views and practices in the country. This shows how much radicalization has already happened in Maldives. In December 2019, the Islamic Ministry, yes, there is a ministry called Islamic Ministry, the Islamic Ministry of Maldives took action against 3 scholars. These scholars were accused of promoting terrorism, spreading hate, and supporting violent acts in other countries. This happened because intelligence found that around 1,400 extremists in Maldives might commit violence in the name of Islam. The Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Hamid, gave some important numbers at a conference. He said that about 423 Maldivians tried to join terrorist groups in Syria and Iraq. Out of these, 173 actually got into the war zones. Before the war in Syria, hundreds went to Pakistan and Afghanistan. Some of them came back to Maldives and then they started spreading radical ideas. Maldives has the highest number of foreign fighters per person going to Syria and Iraq to join ISIS. Just a few days before, on November 5th, 2019, the Maldivian government shut down the Maldivian Democracy Network. This NGO worked for human rights and democracy in Maldives. The government and the Islamic Ministry said a 4-year-old report by MDN was against Islam. The MDN report warned that foreign funded religious extremist ideas were changing traditional beliefs in Maldives. This was harmful to the country's progress and democratic values. During President Abdullah Yamin's time in office, that is from 2013 to 2018, Maldives had the most fighters per person going to Syria. Transparency International found that local politicians in Maldives ignored extremist recruitment because they needed support from criminal gangs and extremist sympathizers. Many extremists who returned were sent to de-radicalized center on Himafushi Island, now called the National Integration Center. It is managed by Ministry of Home Affairs. In October 2020, a Maldivian man arrested after returning from Syria for terrorist activities was the first detainee at this center. In July last year, the US Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, that is OFAC, identified important ISIS and Al Qaeda figures in Maldives. This included 20 operatives from ISIS Khorasan and Al Qaeda. OFAC also targeted 29 companies linked to these individuals. These include leaders of Maldives based gangs and associates of Muhammad Amin, an ISIS K recruiter designated by OFAC in 2019. India and Japan have helped Maldives fight terrorism. In September 2019, India and Maldives agreed to assist each other in criminal matters, especially terrorism related crimes. In October of the same year, Japan gave Maldives 500 million yen to strengthen their counterterrorism efforts, focusing on ISIS and other Islamic terror groups. However, China and Maldives, two allies of Maldives, of course, and for obvious reasons, have not made similar efforts. Despite India's policy of being the first responder to Maldives in emergencies, this hasn't stopped Islamic fundamentals from advancing their agenda. In June 2022, Sheikh Adam Nishan and Sheikh Fazlun Muhammad, local Islamist scholars, and Muhammad Ismail from the Progressive Party of Maldives were arrested. They were accused of leading a mob that attacked people at a Yoga Day event in Maldives' National Football Stadium. This event was organized by the Indian High Commission. Recently, some cabinet members in Maldives insulted Indian institutions. This shows the direction the current leadership in Malay might take in the future. As of mid December, Maldives welcomed 1,757,939 tourists. Most of the visitors were from India, that is 209,198, followed by Russia, that is 209,146, and then China, 187,118. However, due to concerns about Islamist fundamentalism, these tourist numbers might decrease in the coming months. So there you go. We have another Pakistan to the south of India this time.